Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Sister Malika here, aka Hidden Curls, coming to you with another video. So I know is anyone here that does these knotted locks? Okay, because I want to say this. I keep getting all these pop-ups, knotted locks, knotted locks, knotted locks, keeps popping up in my feed. For some reason, I think I looked at the video maybe one time, and then after that, I just keep getting these pop-ups, okay? Every time I turn around, I'm getting pop-ups about knotted locks. So, okay, it piques my interest, okay? But here's the thing. Now, I've been watching this for a couple months now. Actually, I started seeing this prior to me getting my Sisterlock installed. And I talked to a couple locticians and asked them, well, what's the deal with these knotted locks? And they both said something that you don't want. You don't want to mess with that. Okay. Which aesthetically, they didn't look appealing to me anyway. So no, it would have been a negative for me. But I was just curious. Okay. So I started doing my research recently, like within the last month, because I'm like, okay, it seemed like a lot of people are very interested in these knotted locks. And I'm just curious as to, one, did everybody do their research? Okay. Two, did has anyone had these knots in their locks for 10, 15 years or more to know what the long-term effects of putting knots in your locks would be? Okay. Is it healthy for the hair? Now, I will say this. From what I saw when I did my research, one person said that the knotted locks, when I did my research, they're saying that knotted locks, when you put knots in your locks, that you could potentially weaken the spots. The spots where you actually add the knots have a tendency to weaken over a period of time and lead to breakage, potentially lead to breakage, and that right where those knots are. So I'm just curious as to, has anyone done this long term besides Melissa Blake? I see that Tanisha Ali has a whole head full of knotted locks now. And to me, in my opinion, I personally think that her hair looked better when she just had the sister locks. Her hair was beautiful. But since she put those knots in her locks, her hair looks more bouffant. And I think that a lot of people with thin hair, that's why they're doing the knotted locks, so they can get a fuller look. But some people don't need their hair to be that full, especially when you have a whole lot of it. I'm just saying, that's my opinion, okay? Don't come for me and kill me in the comment section, okay? Now, I'm just saying what I think. It's not for me, and I'm entitled to my opinion. So I'm just giving my opinion, my overall opinion about the knotted locks. I really don't think that they look as good as just as regular locks. Even with micro locks, sister locks, I just personally don't think that they look as nice as interlocking or even the palm rolling or anything like that. Now, some people say that the knots blend in with the hair and you can't tell. The pictures I've seen, I can clearly see those knots. I don't get it. I just don't get it. Me, myself, personally, I paid a whole lot of money for these sister locks. So I personally don't ever see me putting a bunch of knots in my sister locks. Now, I get that some people think that where they're thinning at, that they put the knots in, and that makes the hair fuller. Maybe it does. Maybe that might work for you. But me personally, knotted locks is not for me. I just don't see it. I don't get it. it's not aesthetically pleasing to the eye. There is not much research out there, and from what I found, people are saying it's just not a good idea because over time, where the knots are, the locks begin to thin. Now, I saw a video with Miss Melissa Blake. Apparently, she's had these knots in her locks for some time now. However, I did hear her say that not only does she knot, she interlocks as well. So it's not just all knots, I don't think. Now, I haven't been to her class, but I'm just going by what I see and what I hear from other videos. Some people are doing both. They're knotting and interlocking. And apparently, Melissa Blake is doing the same. But I personally don't think that knotting my locks would be a good idea. It's just, I don't see it. I don't see it. It seems like there's always some fad or some trend that pops up in the natural hair community. And people have a tendency to jump on that bandwagon or that trend or that fad. And then later on down the line, they wind up with hair issues. Now, some people are saying that the interlocking is causing, because the loctician is doing the hair too tight, that is causing hair loss, traction alopecia, right? If you are sitting in your loctician's chair and you feel that she's pulling your hair too tight, at what point do you say, excuse me, that you're pulling my hair too tight? My loctician said that she was going to a person that, well, one of my locticians said that she was going to a person that was a Sisterlock consultant that was tightening her hair so tight that she would have a headache. Like when she lay down, she had a headache. Like, oh my God. So what she did was she told her, look, don't do that last rotation. So that way I have some space there. Now that, I think that's a great idea. So you guys who are experiencing that and think it's too tight and your head hurt afterwards, maybe you should tell that loctician that last rotation, leave it out. Don't do it. Makes sense to me. Like, it's no way that we should get up from a chair or go into a chair having to take Tylenol, Advil, and all kinds of pain medication to get your hair done. Same thing was happening with braids. That's why people were experiencing that traction alopecia when they was getting their hair braided. I know somebody who had their hair braided so much till the hairline has receded like way back here. And that's from the tightness and the pulling on the hair. So if you feel as though that the hair is too tight, let your loctician know. Tell your loctician. You have to say something. Stop going into these chairs and having issues and keep your mouth shut. It's your hair. Let them know. And I'm going to tell you, if I go to another loctician and if they get to that last rotation and it's too tight, I would definitely tell them, look, don't do that last rotation. Leave that. Don't do the last rotation. Okay? Because I don't want to lose hair. But also back to this knotted lock thing. When I listen to Melissa Blake and she keeps saying it's the Sisterlocks and the microlocks that's causing this traction alopecia, blah, 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 right? But it's not just locks. It doesn't just have to be Sisterlocks or microlocks. Any locks, any hairdo that's tight with constant tugging and pulling can cause that. So, it kind of like makes me wonder, like, why is it just based on Sisterlocks and microlocks? If you want to start a trend or something, just say, it's a good idea if, how can I put this? Like maybe instead of like directing it to one specific thing, then maybe you should just say several things that cause hair loss. One of the things could be how your hair is tightened, I wouldn't constantly name a specific thing that this is causing your sister locks is what's causing your hair, you to lose hair, or you to lose locks, you're thinning and this and that. No, it could be a whole host of other things. It could be medication. It could be the change of life can cause that. It's several things that can cause hair loss, period. Okay? So I, myself personally, I'm not feeling this whole knotted lock thing. I think it's just down the line, people are going to start having problems. They're going to start having issues with their hair. People are going to start losing locks. People are going to have, like, the locks are going to be thinning and breaking in areas where it was at one point a healthy lock. Because now it's, in my opinion, one thing to add knots. If you are saying that if your hair is thinning, that you should put knots where it's thinning, then why are you placing knots throughout the entire head where there is no thinning? That makes no sense to me. Like, in my opinion, if you know for sure and for certain that if you put knots in the hair where the hair is thinning, and that prevents the hair from breaking in that area, why not just have those knots in that particular area where the thinning is? Why are you putting knots throughout the entire hair? I don't get it. I don't get it. I mean, if someone knows how this whole knotted locks thing work, are they putting it in just the thinning areas? I don't think so. I think people are knotting their entire head. And I think, in my opinion, later on down the line, where those knots are, that's when their hair is going to thin out and it's going to break off right there where those knots are. I'm just saying. You heard it here first. I'm telling you, some people are already experiencing problems with their locks from the knots, like actually losing locks. Okay? And again, it could be something else that's causing it. You know, we never know when it comes to our hair. But me personally, it will be no knots in these locks. Okay? And that's my opinion. And I'm out. Please like, subscribe, share, comment down below, and hit that notification button so you can be notified the next time I upload a video. Until the next time, guys, peace.